All right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday, all you magnificent melonheads. Today is Monday, August 28th, 2023. First day of school for my girls. And I'm a little under the weather this morning. I apologize for my voice, everybody. I hope it's not that new vid we got going on here. But we must press on. We got a morning show to do every day. And here we go. Big story this morning. Chinese stock market. More stimulus coming out of Beijing. Another market rally. And another fizzle out. Chinese stocks just can't catch a break. There's some slew of stimulus measures were announced yesterday, late last night for you here in the States. Beijing said we are going to they cut it in half, the taxes on stock trades. They went from 1% to 0.5%. So a big cut. They called it the stamp duty on securities transactions, basically a stock tax. They cut that in half. They also lessened margin requirements. In other words, they allowed Chinese firms to lever up, go out further on margin, borrow money to buy stocks. And they also ordered some firms to not reduce their equity positions, which basically said, hey, you hedge fund guy there in Shanghai, if you don't want to disappear in the middle of the night, you better not be selling stocks right now. And lo and behold, all these measures, the Chinese stock market opens up 5.5%. And the Shenzhen composite, or the Shanghai composite, opened up 5.5% and then just immediately started selling off. Foreign investors started pulling their money out, and the market ended up closing a measly 1% higher after all those methods. So the Chinese stock market is telling the Chinese economy, and keep in mind, guys, the Chinese stock market is not as big a factor in the Chinese economy as it is here in the States. But still, it's a good barometer for the overall health of things. And no matter what Beijing and the central government do to try to stop the bleeding in the economy, foreign capital wants out of that country. And any gains that we got yesterday coming off of all these stimulus measures, people just immediately sold into that rally. And of course, it lost all its steam. Evergrande shares finally started trading again. They had been frozen for over a year. And yeah, not such a good day for Evergrande. Down 87%. I mean, the company is all but defunct, all but dead. I'm surprised the stock was not down 99.9% yesterday. Anybody who's still holding Evergrande shares, what is it you're hoping to get out of that one? They're bankrupt. They're going under. You're going to lose everything if you're still holding those shares. Also, we've got some other news going on here in the States. We've got the United Auto Workers Union. They are demanding a 46% raise along with a 32-hour work week. And forget the ins and outs of this particular labor dispute. You better believe that the Federal Reserve is paying attention to what's going on with organized labor in the States right now. Keep in mind, guys, we had that big raise that UPS drivers just got. We've had some monster raises for the airline pilots unions, all in the ballpark of 30 to 40%. These are happening all around the economy right now, and now the UAW wants in on the action, as most unions do, and can you blame them? After the explosion in the money supply in 2020 and 2021, people's cost of living has gone up, and now workers are demanding that their wages rise in a commensurate degree. Well, shouldn't they? I mean, don't people deserve the same standard of living they had 2 or 3 years ago? The UAW didn't flood the system with money. Cars are selling for more money, so the companies are making more money off of the same cars that they sell. So I don't blame the UAW for demanding a raise. I'm surprised everybody isn't demanding a raise. And that's why Jerome Powell's trying to put the screws to the economy. He's trying to make it so that employees are desperate to just keep their job because everybody around them is getting laid off. Oh, my goodness, that they stop asking for raises. Because that is the Keynesian boogeyman that hides in every closet, under every bed, behind every shadow. Wage spiral inflation. Oh my goodness, if the plebs get raises, then they'll spend the extra money, and that will cause inflation. Well, it's funny that they worry about that after printing $7 trillion in a couple of months in 2020. Oh yeah, now it's if we give the pilots or the UAW workers a raise, now we'll have inflation. Not the trillions of dollars that made them rich. Remember, all the Fed governors sold their stocks in August of 2021, conveniently close to the all-time high in the stock market, to eliminate the appearance of a conflict of interest. Yeah, now that they got paid, oh, no, now we got to turn the screws to the economy. Can't let the plebs catch up. Of course, that's You do that over and over again since 1971, you end up with this massive wealth gap in the United States. Check out that first chart on WTF happened in 1971 if you think I'm kidding. Elsewhere going on, we got a massive air traffic control disruption going on in the UK this morning. Shout out to all you folks who are stranded on the tarmac or in the airport. Something is going on. They're not saying what's causing it. They're not saying when it's going to be fixed. All I know is literally every flight in and out of the UK is affected by this. And authorities are being a little hush-hush. We don't know. Is it just another story of infrastructure that hasn't been maintained? As my moderator, Mish, said, is this traffic control software running on MS-DOS version negative 50.0? Who knows? Or is this a cyber attack, or is there something else going on there? They're not telling us. All we know is it ain't working. And so if you got somewhere to be in the UK this morning, you better get comfy where you're at. With that, we are going to shrink my big melon of a head, and while we're doing that, won't you please smash that like button, folks? It really helps me with the YouTube algorithm. And if you're new to the channel, won't you please stay a while? We do this every morning, so I'd love to see you tomorrow morning while we're here. Let's get this up here. I didn't share my screen because I was having tech issues this morning. The CNN Fear Greed Index is a picture of perfect neutrality, sitting at 48 right now. Just a few points in a fearward direction. It has been sitting in this mid-40s range for a couple of days now. The S&P is actually set to open a little higher this morning, about 0.5%. Futures are set to open 21 points higher. The Dow's looking like it's going to open about 145 points higher, or 0.42%. And the NASDAQ leading the way up, set to open over 100 points higher, or 0.68% this morning. So U.S. stocks are doing okay this morning. We've got the DXY. It was up a few points a few minutes ago, now down 1 basis point, 104.07 on the U.S. dollar. And looking over at the bond market, looks like we've got yields on the long end are lower and the short end is higher. So we've got a little bit more inversion in the yield curve this morning. The 30-year Treasury is down 4 basis points, yielding 4.25%. The 10-year is down 4 basis also, 4.20 on the 10-year. 2 years about flat to down 1 point, 5.05 on the 2-year, and the 1-month Treasury yielding 5.4. It's a little bit higher than the 5.37, 5.38 we've seen the last few days. And let's take a look real quick, guys, at this is not the NASDAQ. This was the wrong chart. I wanted the 10-year, Jack. Get your stuff together this morning. It has just been one of those mornings, folks. It really has. Check out the yield on the 10-year Treasury. I just want to show you guys. This is going all the way back to about June of last year. And I want to draw to your attention, there's the high that we put in last October. And we are right now struggling with that same level. Are we at a double top? Or is this a bull flag and onward, upward to new highs in the 10-year? Still don't know. Still making up its mind. We broke above this level a few days ago. Let's doodle again here. We'll shrink that one. We broke above it. We came back, retested, failed that first retest, and now we're bouncing around here, currently a little bit lower. So let me know down in the comments, do you think yields are heading higher? Or are we going to get a flight to safety? People are going to pile into the long bonds and take yields lower. Let me know down in the comments what you think is coming. Looking over at the commodities board this morning, we have got gold is marginally higher. December gold futures trading at $19.43. That's up about $4. September silver futures are down 2 cents, $24.21. West Texas Intermediate October futures trading at $80.17. That's up about 34 cents this morning, about a third of 1%. Not a lot moving this morning, guys. We got stocks a little bit higher, but pretty much everything is sitting still. But this was the big one last night. China's 5.5% stock rally fizzles in blow-to-market rescue effort. This is another case of the stock market just yawning at what Beijing tries to do to prop up the stock market. Authorities cut the stamp duty, i.e. the tax on stock trades. They cut margin ratios for leverage trades, and Chinese stocks are among the world's worst performers in August. Chinese stocks paired most of their early gains on Monday, showing once again that Beijing's efforts to boost markets are falling flat in the face of economic worries. After opening 5.5% higher on a slew of market support measures announced over the weekend, the CSI 300 index of mainland stocks paired its advance to close just 1.2% higher. Foreign funds accelerated their selling through the day, poised to take this month's outflows to the biggest on record. Authorities asked some mutual funds to avoid offloading equities on a net basis on Monday. People familiar with the matter said. I love how they word that here. Authorities asked some mutual funds to avoid offloading equities. When the Communist Party politely asks you not to do something, the implication is This is bad for your health. If you do it, you might disappear in the middle of the night. They ordered funds not to sell stocks. That's the second time in as many weeks I've seen a story like that about authorities politely suggesting you not sell your stocks and drive things lower. And just take a look here, guys. This is the Shanghai Composite right now, currently trading 3,098. But look at this candle right here. Look at how ugly this is. Big monster open higher, right? Came all the way up, literally right to that 200-day moving average. Abruptly reversed course, 180-degree turn, back down south it goes, closed just off the lows of the day. That was an awful day. Even though it was up, it was up just over 1%, 1.13 higher. Still just a terrible, terrible day, all things considered, and things are not looking good for Chinese equities right now. And Evergrande getting in on the action, of course. Evergrande shares plunge as much as 87% as trading resumes after 17 months. Nice of you guys to come to work today after taking 17 months off. China Evergrande Group last traded on the Hong Kong Exchange on March 18th of 2022 at $1.65 Hong Kong. That's about 13 cents per share before being suspended on March 21st. Company also posted a loss of 39.25 billion yuan. That's about $5.4 billion for the 6 months ended June with total liabilities of 2.4 trillion yuan. Shares of the world's most indebted property developer, China Evergrande Group, plunged as much as 87% on its open on Monday, trading for the first time since March 21st, 2022. Shares fell as low as 22 Hong Kong cents on Monday compared to its last close of $1.65 Hong Kong in 2022. So Evergrande is worth about 3 cents US right now. 3, maybe 4 cents. I don't know what the conversion rate is at the moment. But it should be zero, guys. This is an entertaining story. Yeah, it's down 87%, but let's be honest. The writing has been on the wall for Evergrande for a very long time. This company is done. It's just a matter of how many people have to endure how much pain before this story is over. A lot more is the answer for the moment. And check this one out. Union boss wants a 46% raise and a 32-hour work week in the war against Detroit car makers. They shouldn't call it the war against the automakers. Why don't they call it the war against the Federal Reserve? Because that's why we're even having this conversation, is because Fed go Burr. Zerp and Burr, that's why we're talking about this. This isn't Ford and GM and Stellantis didn't just become greedy this week. We all know how this goes. This is just the UAW. They want in on the action. First, inflation hits the asset prices, then it hits consumer prices, and then it finally hits wages. We are in the final stages of this inflation cycle where the wages rise, and the Fed is doing everything they can to prevent that. Sean Fain, president of the United Auto Workers Union, since March has declared war on the Detroit 3 automakers with contract demands that even he calls audacious, including proposals for a 46% raise, a return to traditional pensions, and a 32-hour work week. Yeah, so long story short, people want to raise, guys. Nothing surprising there, right? The cost of living went down. They're doing the same work. They're adding the same value. The companies are making more money. The employees want in on the action, and I don't blame them. Also going on in the UK this morning, this is a big one. Air traffic control. Airlines warn of flight delays over a technical fault. Now, this is kind of a soft headline, guys. When you look at this, okay, airlines warn of delays over technical fault. Okay, that's your run-of-the-mill basic headline, right? But you got to go all the way down to like the 20th paragraph here, and then you kind of get a picture of what's going on. The airline said that the traffic control issue was currently affecting all flights due to fly into or out of United Kingdom airspace. This isn't just a little hiccup that's got a couple people stranded on a tarmac, guys. This is every flight in or out of the country. Something big is going on in the UK this morning. I don't know what it is. Don't know if it's just a lack of investment in infrastructure. Is it your run-of-the-mill incompetence, negligence, or is there something more sinister at work? All I know is there's a lot of planes are not moving. Shout out to all you folks who were stuck in the airport this morning. And the last one I got is Chevron LNG workers in Australia allow the union to call for a strike. Excuse me. Keep an eye on this one, especially you guys in Europe. This could affect European energy prices big time. What's going on is the LNG workers have notified the company. They call it an IPA, a Notice of Industrial Protected Action. It's basically their intent to go on strike. They're not on strike yet. They're just saying they've authorized it, and it will happen, I believe, September 6th or 2nd. Let me get you the actual date. September 6th or 7th was the date. This could disrupt global LNG supplies. Australia is the third biggest player in the liquefied natural gas market behind the United States and Qatar. So this is going to drive up LNG prices. And right now, European energy prices are determined by the global LNG market. So you guys in Europe, pay close attention to this one. And I got to thank you. I have to send this morning to Mr. Fatty McButterpants. Thank you, sir, for the super chat. I love the name Fatty McButterpants. Okay. Good morning, you magnificent melonhead. Well, good morning to you too, sir. Thank you for the support of the channel and the generosity and for the laugh, Mr. McButterpants. I appreciate that very much, sir. And last but not least, don't forget, guys, link down in the description below to the Silver Symposium. We are just 32 days, 17 hours away from the Stock Pulse Silver Symposium at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas. Use that link down below. You'll get 10% off your tickets. Come on out. All your favorite YouTubers are going to be there, and we want to meet you guys. We want to meet you. We want to hear your stories. Talk about what you're seeing in your neck of the woods. Ninja's going to be there. Joe Brown is going to be there. Chris Taylor from Heresy Financial. David Morgan. All your favorite precious metal gurus and YouTubers will be in attendance, including yours truly. So come on out. Come up and say hi. Let's have a beer and let's hang out in beautiful Las Vegas. Just 32 days from now. Link down below, should you feel so inclined. All right, guys, that's about all I got for this morning. I apologize again for my voice and for the technical issues this morning. I want to say thank you to my Patreon supporters for everything you guys do for the channel. I appreciate it very much. Another link down below to that. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. I love you guys. And until next time, live small and dream big.